Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the interview series. Today we're with the amazing V Ken Marion that I'm so happy to talk to today. And the past 2 months have sort of centered around Green Lantern, and so to get to talk to you today is a super big blessing. And I'm so excited to learn a bit more about your creative process and a little bit behind your thoughts.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, man, I'm excited to talk Green Lantern, one of my absolute favorite franchises in comic books, and definitely DC. So, really
Yeah,
excited to talk.
absolutely, man. So if you want to give a little bit of an introduction of yourself, and then also kind of maybe steer into how not only your love from comic books started, but also maybe your involvement in that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, I'm a comic book artist. I've been working in the industry professionally since about 2012. So, while for a while,
Yeah.
like over a decade. Yeah, and I always loved comics growing up, and superheroes and like anime and all this like sort of fun adventure kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Christopher Reeve Superman movies and the Tim Burton Batman movies were big for me. And yeah, I just got into comics like at a young age, and I was always drawing. Like I was always drawing Power Rangers or like the toy, like all the action figures
Right.
that I had.
Power Rangers, yeah.
Like actually, yeah, yeah. Actually, the action figures was pretty much my introduction to all these characters. Like
Oh,
in the 90s, they had this line of toys for both DC and Marvel. They're called DC superheroes and Marvel superheroes. And they were kind of like, if people remember this kind of superpowers, they're kind of like remolds of those, but Toy Biz was doing them. But anyway, they had like all the characters. And that was kind of like that's how I found out who these characters were. Was like, that's
yeah.
how Flash was, Green Lantern, Superman, all of them. So it was like through that. And then as I got a little bit older, I got into comic books. And then, like I said, anime. And then when I got to high school, it was like I was always picking up comics like randomly, like here and there. But it was Batman Hush was coming out. It was like toward the end of the run. And like it was like I just picked up this random issue of Batman. I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And like I was just kind of like blown away by it. And it was the first time that I connected an artist's name to the art. Like it was the first time I bothered to read the credits because like this just looks
Right.
so good. And I was like, who's this Jim Lee guy? And he's like Lil, I know he's like the greatest of ever,
Yeah.
And so it was like that, and Michael Turner at the time was doing covers for Flash, and it was between
Oh,
those two artists that really made me want to pursue a career in comics. Yeah.
yeah, that's so awesome. I mean, and you touched on it very, very briefly, but I have to mention it. The anime styling that you got going on in your art is so cool. And
Oh, thank you.
every time someone tells me like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Kyle fan," I'm always like, "You gotta see this! Like, you gotta see this art of Kyle." Because I actually watched an interview of yours where you talked a little bit about like the hair and how like that kind of plays a big
Mhm.
in the kinetic sort of function of these characters and how they're looking. And the hair specifically with Kyle, I gotta just say it, I love it. It's got
Oh, thank you.
such a cool like
Thank you.
manga anime look that I genuinely think is super refreshing. Because Kyle being a Latino, you don't see that kind of styling really, and so
Mhm.
when you pulled in that aspect of the art and it created a whole new sort of like interpretation and look for the character. So it's really
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I
yeah.
really appreciate that, man. Yeah, like anime is huge for me. Specifically when I was younger, it was Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing were like the
Oh yeah.
two
Oh
main ones that like came out when I was a kid,
yeah.
and then also like the Final Fantasy video game series. And then since then, I've there's a ton of stuff that I like now, like Jujutsu Kaisen and
Yeah.
um, Attack on Titan, and I'm watching a thing called Windbreaker. I just discovered was really
Oh
good. So like, there's a bunch of that style has always been like an influence on me. But yeah, the hair specifically, like I think hair is such a cool way to like give characters their own unique look and
mm,
like vibe. And the anime does that so well. They'll give it characters all their own unique hairstyle. Like it drives me nuts in American comics when how like Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent and like they look like the same guy. You know what I mean? Like the same
yeah.
hairstyle. So, and so like it's like things like to me like each one should have their own unique look and their own unique kind of like thing. So like for like with Green Lantern specifically, like and this is like way back when I started Green Lantern, like first time I was drawing Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps, which was back in 2017. Like I made the decision that when I draw Hal, he's gonna have like spiky, messy hair because he's like a wild character.
Yes.
And to me, Kyle always needs to like a version of like the 90s middle part hair. And so
Yes.
and to me that's like that defines the look for those two characters for me.
Right.
So that's kind of like what you're saying, what how I draw Kyle now is like very much bring in that kind of like the middle part, but with like kind of
Yeah.
like spiky anime kind of flair to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you did this one panel. I gotta say, I'm a sucker for the OG Hal design. I like it, but I can fully confidently say your design for the one panel that you drew. I don't remember the exact issue that's from, but it's the Hal from the side where he's got kind of the swooshed hair up. And
Uh,
I was as soon as I saw that, I was like, that is my favorite illustration or just version of how, because yes, the messy hair, the look, it gives something so unique that I was like, it's so
Oh,
fresh
thank
and
you.
cool to see. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and for me, like I know that some people like Hal being more like that sort of classic '60s kind of fighter pilot look, but to me, like his character, at least how he's been since I've read him, since like the Jeff Johns took over, like to me, he's always been like this kind of like wild, out of the box, like
Yep.
he bucks authority. Like it's just like his personality is like someone to me like that wouldn't comb his hair. You know what I mean? He'd
Right.
be someone that has like really messy, you know.
A
So
little
especially if
disheveled.
he's flying
Yeah.
through, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
disheveled, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that I'm sure you kind of do to get in the zone when you're writing these things, but specifically for Green Lantern, I think it's interesting when you're doing something quite literally otherworldly and you're having to do like a cosmic aspect. So, I just wanted to poke a little bit about your creative process and like how do you get in the zone for things? Because like for me, I'll toss on some headphones. I literally mood light the room to like green when I'm working on stuff, and like I'll put on some like instrumental. I have this one Batman Arkham instrumental thing that I have where it's just like Gotham sounds and some stuff, and kind of helps me
nice.
get more in the zone of like, okay, I can be present, I can be there, and I can kind of transport myself into the art that I'm doing. So I would love to hear about your art process and how you kind of get in the zone,
Hmm.
or where you kind of
Yeah, well, your sounds more specific than what I do. So like for me,
mm,
like I either listen to podcasts or music when I'm drawing, and like getting into the zone of like the actual what I'm drawing, like that's just like the imagination part for me. So like I don't have too much trouble kind of like locking into that, like because I've always had a pretty active imagination. So like coming up with like the scene in my head and stuff like that part comes pretty quick, but the actual like doing it, the 8 to 9 hours it takes
yeah,
to actually do it is where the struggle comes. So like for
right.
me, I usually listen to like either like long podcasts that are like people talk that I think are funny,
Mm.
or like I like pop punk music, so like or
Oh
punk
yeah.
music, so like Blink 182, some 41, stuff like
Oh
that.
yes,
So
dude, that is my
yeah.
favorite band. So you saying
Oh
that,
yeah, which one?
that
Blink or
Blink,
yeah,
yeah, Blink. Since I
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
me too.
little
Me too.
kid, that was the first song
Same.
that I learned to
Yeah.
play on guitar, and yeah, so
Same, dude. Same.
that's
Yeah, no.
awesome.
So I also I'll listen to like Spotify playlists of all that kind of stuff, and like because I need when I listen to music especially when I'm working, I need music that's fast and energetic. Like
Right.
if it gets to like a slow song or something, I always skip it because like the music tone will actually like dictate how fast my hands are actually moving. So if I have something on that's like slow, it actually like I actually start working slower, and I
Right.
start
Kind
kind
of
of
chews you
like
out a bit too much. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I need that very fast music. And I feel like it's the opposite for a lot of artists because I've talked to people about this and they think it's the for them it's like I can't have the fast stuff because it breaks my concentration. But for me, like
Yeah.
I kind of thrive in that
Yeah.
like
Lights a fire under
area.
you a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 totally.
Awesome. That's so cool. And I mean, I'm sure through that, I mean, you kind of from the art to the actual, conceptualization, you thinking of these things. I'm sure there's lots of takeaways that you can get. And especially with Green Lantern and having so many diverse characters that come with different like personalities and like Hal being kind of just like bold, not thinking about things and jumping in them, and then John being a bit more like militant and kind of like thinking about things methodically, and Kyle just being kind of creative and out of the box and stuff. And
Yeah.
so I would love to know like what just through your experience with these characters, if there's been any lessons or anything takeaways that you've been able to kind of extract from being involved in something like Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, so this come because more of like a macro idea for like the whole Green Lantern Corps as opposed to like one character specifically. But like what drew me to just the concept when I was in high school when I was reading the Jeff Johns, like I started reading Green Lantern with Kyle's book. Like that's why he's my favorite character because he was the one that it was his series that Ron Mars and Daryl Banks and then like the Judd Winnick run too. Like I was reading that, but that was when I was just kind of randomly grabbing issues here and there. So it'd be like I liked Kyle because he looked cool and he's just like a cool dude, right? But when I the Jeff Johns run is when I started like being like, no, I've got a subscription. I'm reading this like month in, month out kind of thing in
Yeah.
high school. And then I kind of and that's when I was like, you're older in high school and like you start getting the messages and stuff they're putting in there. And the thing that really hooked me with the concept of Green Lantern is that they kept calling the ring in the books the most powerful weapon in the universe. And I always saw that as an analogy because to me, like the ring is like a tool for like your willpower. And so what they're really saying is your willpower is the strongest weapon in the universe. And I think that's a very like good message for people to have because that's like if you think about it, it's true, right? It's like if you just can make yourself do things, you can accomplish pretty much anything. Like if
Right.
you can just have the will to do it, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like and I think that's a very like it's a deep kind of message that's in the book that is
Absolutely.
always like can be glossed over, but I think it's like a really like important one, you know?
Yeah, that was actually part of my last question was asking like there are a lot of things that we kind of take away from Green Lantern for ourselves, but I wanted to, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but what you hope that people pull from it, and then you kind of touched on that a little bit about like the willpower and those things.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And then specifically for characters, like I mean, I love like I really dig like this kind of like the devil may care attitude that Hal Jordan has. Like, I think that's a
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
and like Kyle's he's my favorite. Like I said, because he just like looks cool. Like especially in that like that
so cool.
black and
Yeah,
white costume. He's just like the coolest looking character. So
yeah,
and I think visuals for me has always been, especially when I was younger, because like when you're a kid, like all these characters' personalities, like they're good guys or bad guys, right? And like,
yeah,
but and when I was a kid, it's like who I picked was like the ones I thought looked the coolest, and like Kyle just looks cool, man.
yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
he's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm also wondering, like, through all of your experience that you've had, if there's been any specific maybe like issues or maybe even one panel that gave you a hard time or was a bit of a struggle and taught you
Hmm.
something that you kind of used going forward, or maybe even was like a success that you're like, ah, I can kind of carry this on
Hmm.
into my next workflow. You know what I mean? Or whether it was a
Hmm.
struggle or a good thing you're trying
Yeah.
to take away from your artistic experience.
That's a tough one because like hmm. When you're when because like when you're drawing stuff, it's like at least for me, it's like I just get so locked into the story that like it's not so much like the things that make it difficult or more difficult or less difficult are like the like accuracy to like reality. So like cars, for example, I hate drawing cars because like, and I just did a Green Lantern story where Simon Baz, it's coming out, it's going to be in Green Lantern Corps, it's coming out next month or 2 months from now, but he makes a car construct, and it's like it's in a lot of the panel, and it was just one of those things that like for me, it's like. I like guys like Sean Murphy like excel at drawing cars,
Yeah.
right? But for me it's like so arduous because it's like you gotta get like the perspective grids right and
Yes.
like yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, perfect transition. But I pretty much just wanted to also know what maybe goals you have with your career right now at DC and what things you would love to do in terms of like projects you might want to take on, characters you might want to explore, or certain worlds that you might want to kind of get to play with artistically.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm working on Green Lantern right now. Green Lantern Corps with Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton, having so much fun. And I'm going to be doing a few issues of the Green Lantern actual series, the main Green Lantern title with Jeremy Adams, which is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm doing a cover for it right now, actually today. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, in terms of more stuff at DC, like I would just want to keep working with the characters. Like I would love to work on Batman at some point. I'd love to do a Superman run at some point. I'd love
Oh,
to do like a longer run on Green Lantern at some point, you know. So those are all like big goals that I have.
mm,
And I also have a creator-owned book that I'm currently doing that I also
mm.
really want to push that too. For those who don't know, I ran a Kickstarter last year and it got successfully funded, and so we're in the process of now getting that shipped out. We actually have a second chance campaign of it available right now in Indiegogo too. So it's all for the same
So,
um, campaign. It's called Battle Chronicle Soul Striker, and it's a like love letter to everything that I loved growing up as a kid. So think like Green Lantern and X-Men meet Gundam meet Final Fantasy, and it's like
uh,
a fantasy, sci-fi fantasy epic. Takes place on a fantastical world. There's a war between two factions of people on this planet, and it's yeah, it's about this princess and a group of knight soldiers that are trying to throw into this conflict and trying to bring peace to their world, and it's been so much fun. Check out Battle Chronicle Soul Striker on Indiegogo.
yeah, I'm gonna link
Um,
that right on the bottom
yeah,
right here.
cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool. Yeah, the second chance campaign. It says it's a second chance campaign, but it's for the first printing of the book. So it's everything for the Kickstarter, and then everything on the Indiegogo is going to be in the first printing. And we just got all the colors wrapped, so we're like in the home stretch now. So I'm hoping to get it off to the printer in like by the month or so. I'm really busy with Green Lantern, so it's like juggling all
Yeah,
this stuff is kind of hard. But yeah, but that's a huge
that's so
career thing for me that to do my own book, like as well as like working with DC and working
yeah.
on Green Lantern and all this cool stuff. So I just feel very blessed to be able to do all of it, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so excited. That sounds incredible, by the way. I will
Oh, thank you.
100% be
Thank you.
tuning into that because that sounds like right up my alley.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank
Of
you.
course. So yeah, the next little section that I was going to do was kind of a little reaction. I got a video that I was going to send you on Instagram, and then if you wanted to preview it,
Nice.
I'll kind of just talk a little bit about the process and kind of how we went about things, and then yeah, just literally any of your thoughts. I'd love to hear them from a Green Lantern artist. It would be, it would mean
Of
tons.
course. Of course.
All right, I am sending this over now. And it's a little bit it's about a minute, but I kind of dragged out some of the images because some of them are images, some of them are videos of like the files rotating. So feel free to kind of
Mhm.
brush through them if some of them tend to lag on a little bit longer.
Cool. Which character is the suit
Uh
for?
it's like a Hal Jordan, but it's almost like an original kind of like take on it. So if you saw it
Okay,
without
cool.
knowing that it's Hal Jordan, you'd probably be like, oh, it's a Green Lantern. But
Gotcha, gotcha.
it's definitely got some Hal elements.
So who's your favorite Lantern of all of them? Is Hal your favorite?
So Hal's my favorite just because of growing up with Hal, but the more
Mhm.
that I'm reading and learning about Kyle, I love it. I mean, as a Latino
Yeah,
myself and as an artist and having Kyle's whole thing being a struggling artist, I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
like
Did,
I get that.
did
Um,
you ever read did you ever read the Ron Mars, Daryl Banks run, like the old like his
no,
original run?
no,
You
I
should
haven't read
totally
it. Yeah,
it's different because there's no core. It's like literally he's the only Green Lantern.
wow.
So the core is like the story is that the core is done and Gantic has the last ring and he gives it to Kyle and Kyle is like the only Green Lantern. So it's all Earth based. It's all in New York City and it's a lot of that whole like struggling artist thing. And it's a
Oh,
lot of him like learning the ropes and stuff. It's a very fun series. It's so different from like what we know of as like the Green Lantern sort of status quo, but it's a lot of fun.
yeah, it sounds awesome. I mean, from my knowledge of like the Kyle thing and like another one tipping point was like the whole parallax thing and then the Guardians kind of turning to Kyle to kind of be like the the one up stepper. So that for me, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
like, this is some pretty cool stuff. And that was actually my intro to Kyle too. So
Nice.
yeah, it was
Nice.
awesome. I think it just sent over and delivered. Um, so I'll give a
Oh,
little
there we go. Yeah.
before. So yeah, we've been working on this for about the past 3 months. And the big sort of thing that we want to lean into is space. And we really want to lean into the outer space cop element and really, really fuse those two. So I got to work with an incredible artist named Near Demerville and Olympian props that kind of helped bring my sketches and sort of some of my ideas to kind of life when it came to the ring, the lantern. Um, and then you'll see a badge in there as
Bike.
well. Yeah, the bike, that
Yeah,
one.
the bike is awesome.
Thank you, man. It's going to be a project, but I'm so excited to bring that one to life. And it'll be it was almost like a construct idea that we have, and that's the badge as well that you might see in there. That I
Oh yeah, yeah.
I had this fun thought where I was like, oh, I feel like if a Green Lantern in current day came down and was like, oh, I'm a cop, everyone would be like, all right, well, where's your badge? Like, you got a badge?
Yeah.
And so him kind of, using the construct to show everyone, all right, this is what you want to see. This is a badge. So we designed one of those, and I'll be making it to have as well in some of the photo shoots.
Dude, the armor looks so good too.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it has been such a long journey, but one that we're like, okay, as long as we can encapsulate this like outer world kind of feeling, then it's
Yeah. I love that you're doing the white gauntlets because like
yes.
the white like the white gloves I think is so key, especially for Hal. Like he needs those white gloves. Like in the movie, that was a big dude, the ring looks so good. I liked how it was like flattened, like it wasn't like popped out. Like I like that it was like flattened. Yeah, that looks so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so
It's
much.
so cool.
Again, yeah,
Yeah,
we
man.
really tried to go for like a space. I really wanted the ring to feel like something that you would find in space, and really to
Yeah.
that you would think is like an artifact from another planet, and really trying to lean into the OA aspect.
Nice, nice. Yeah, no, and like I was saying, I'm not sure if you caught before, but the white gloves I feel like is so important for like the look that Hal has. Like
By
in the
far.
movie, like getting rid of the white gloves, I thought that was like the biggest mistake of the costume was getting rid of the white gloves.
One of the biggest points that I had with my suit was there's two things I need to incorporate, and it's the white eyes and the white gloves. And those two things,
Nice.
those for me, I was like, those got to be incorporated in the costume to really
Do,
sell.
do you have the mask like done?
I
Like
have so this is the mask that we're gonna be. My little brother is also gonna be cosplaying Tai Fam.
oh,
So
cool.
I'm also working on his, but this is the mask file that we have.
Oh,
So
wow. Dude, that
yeah,
looks sick.
thank you, man. Yeah, Olympian Props did an incredible job making this one come to life. So yeah, we'll all be rocking these. My girlfriend's actually gonna be doing Jessica Cruz too, so we'll have a
Oh, nice.
we'll have a whole trio
Nice.
going on. It'll be really
Nice.
fun.
Now, are you gonna make like the thing for Jessica Crew, like her like eye thing? Is that gonna be like face paint, or are you gonna actually do a plastic like?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
there's a
cool.
couple different cool, like I've seen people print things out like pretty thin, and then you can use like UV reactive stuff, and so we're
Mm,
definitely playing around with different ideas for hers, but making sure that that is like a good key detail, or like that has to be perfect.
yeah,
The
that's
lantern on the eye
awesome.
has to be perfect. Yeah,
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool.
yeah, thank
Now,
you. I'm so excited to definitely show you guys all the photos that we're gonna take together, and it'll be really, really cool.
nice. Are you gonna go to any conventions?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to
Nice.
LACC. We're going to WonderCon hopefully next year, and then San Diego Comic Con we're going to be attending too, just as
Very cool.
we go out there, and we're going to bring the bike and everything too. So it'll be a whole
Oh, that's awesome.
play.
That's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah. All right, man.
That's
Well,
awesome.
thank you so much for your thoughts. I mean, I appreciate it so much, and your contributions to this. I mean, franchise in general. It has helped me get even deeper into the lore and find even more passion for these characters and the art style and everything. So I know that everyone else in this community is super grateful for you and everything you've done.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Like I said, how like that like Hal, Kyle, John, all of them, like the Green Lantern's like my favorite like corner or one of my favorite corners of the DC universe. I'm just so grateful to be working on it, and like I want to do it for as long as possible, because it's like it's just such a fun like universe and concept, and I'm really really grateful that you like what I'm doing, and I'm gonna
Absolutely.
do my best to keep doing my best to do
Yeah.
some more.
Absolutely. We appreciate you so much, truly. And if you want to plug or kind of like I know you mentioned that thing, if you want to say it one more time or kind of where to find those things so that I could double link
Oh
it.
yeah, totally. On Indiegogo, check for Battle Chronicle Soul Striker. It's SOL-STRYKER. And it's for my fantasy comic book that we're currently in the process of making. And you can follow me on Instagram at Vken Marion and keep up with all the art I'm doing and all the Green Lantern sneak peeks I'm working on. I just posted a little sneak peek of a cover that Kyle's going to be on. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
So excited for that, man. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And thank you guys for watching. We'll definitely be keeping up with new artists and everything here and there, and we'll have some new stuff coming out soon. I'll keep you posted on kind of where we're posting this too. It'll be on YouTube, and then we'll make some Instagram reels in it as well.
Cool, awesome.